I'm Mallory Bauer, Office of Experiential Learning. I'm here with Tina. I think we all know each other
I hope
quite
so, guys.
well. I really hope so. Everyone can see our first slide here. So we wanted to just host a session. I know we've had a lot of questions with the Impact Fund since its inception last spring, which I can't believe that it was just last spring that this started. And we had to figure out infrastructure for our campus and how to make this funding work. So Tina and I will walk you through the history of the Impact Fund, where it came from, what we're currently using it for, and where we see it going in the future. But really, we just want to brag on the cool stuff that our campus and our students are doing and the important partnerships between faculty sponsors, advisors, supervisors for on-campus internships, and just anyone who is affiliated with our office and encouraging students to participate in experiential learning. So anything else you want to add, Tina?
Honestly, it's just fun to be an alumni and see students get this money.
Oh, yeah.
Exciting. So,
Yeah, so I always tell people when I talk about the Impact Fund, I would have been a poster child for this fund if I had access to it as a college student. I was a college student who wasn't hyper involved in student orgs. I had to work. I had on-campus jobs, work study jobs. I did a million internships, a lot of them unpaid. But I was doing my unpaid internship during the day and then working night shift to subsidize those costs. So I'm really excited that our impact fund can support those students who have to work extra in order to make internships, service learning, and other types of experiences work, particularly if they are required for their degree programs. So we're really pumped to talk more about this and how some of the decisions were made and how we're rolling this out on our campus. Whoop, there you go, Tina.
so taking it back a little bit. I think a lot of people, some people do know that this money came from SUNY, and some people might not realize maybe where it came from. They could think it's a grant. They could think it was a donor. It's not necessarily given, you know. So in a lot of the work that we do in experiential learning, essentially access to experiential learning and unpaid applied learning as it goes for SUNY schools has been an issue for a long time. Um, Mallory and I are very close with Jamie Frank, who is our Associate Vice Chancellor for policy implementation, one of two at SUNY administration. And little known fact, it was in her career at SUNY administration, one of the things that she really cared about a lot was bringing up the idea to do whatever we could an educational organization to help students access experience that was, again, nationally data all over the place that shows internships. Students need them. This isn't new, right? Helping students get experience in college to be able to get full-time jobs. Again, not a new concept by any means. So, cue Chancellor King. Jamie reports directly to Chancellor King, and in conversations, she was given an opportunity to make things like this happen. She's done an incredible amount of work to make this money accessible to our campuses, and it came down the pipeline very quickly once it did get going to our institutions through incremental funding, where certain money was allocated specifically towards applied learning. Now, I want everyone to keep an open mind, especially on our campus. Internship means something for our campus, right? Internship is not a universal definition of the term by state, by region, by school versus employer. At SUNY Oswego, it means something to our students. We try to get on the same page as much as possible, but truly, SUNY wants our students to graduate with having at least completed one paid applied learning experience. That can mean a lot of different things, not necessarily how one party is defining internship. SUNY also kind of came down the pipeline with ESD dollars, Empire State Development dollars, if you're not familiar with the acronym, where about 4 years ago, there was a $6 million allocation for Empire State development dollars that wasn't fully utilized. Only about 4 million of that was utilized towards internships and workforce development, and 2 million remained, where SUNY had the opportunity to partner with Jobs for the Future, which is an outside for-profit corporation, and work with 12 different institutions, 6 2-year and 6 4-year in the past couple years to get proposals together. So not only has our SUNY Oswego Experiential Learning Office had to put in proposal for the incremental funding, we also put in a proposal for that additional money to become one of those 12 schools and a part of the paid community of practice group at SUNY, and we were awarded both. One of those pots of money is one-time use that we've been using this academic year. Certain pieces of that we'll talk about that you've seen coming from that one-time pot of money. That's not a majority of the money, though. A lot of the money is recurring, which is the good news. And Mallory and I have done a lot to focus the one-time money on things that are good things for the time that we have it, but that aren't going to completely devastate our students or campus once that money is gone. I'm the current president for our SUNY-wide career development organization for our 64 schools. Mallory is on our board of 13. She is currently our SUNY liaison for that organization. We've got about 200 members across the career and applied learning offices in SUNY. So we've got a decent number of people who this money was being given to, and our campus partners, our network across SUNY Career Development Organization, and a lot of our admin partners on our own campus were helping us collaborate as much as possible, gain as much information. I feel like throughout the midst, we all became paralegals and accountants and financial controllers because we had to understand every single implication of what this money meant, not just in how to get it to our students, but how it would affect our students, both positively and possibly negatively. So we had to be proactive every step of the way, and quite frankly, still are. Um, to getting it to students, it took a lot of time once we got through the initial phases of what was the money, getting the proposal for the money, getting the money to the campus, and figuring out how to give it to students, to also working with all of our partners. Our internship sites, both on campus and off campus, making sure we were considering all of the different industries that our students are in, making sure that how we would handle different conversations, what students were traditionally that we were seeing already being paid for internships versus which students were needing internships that were in traditionally unpaid areas. Um, Addressing the most obvious and maybe some of the less obvious barriers that our students were facing brought us down to a very specific set of wages, tuition, basic needs, transportation, and again, the invisible costs, things like background checks, fingerprinting, things that you don't necessarily think about until you're applying or interviewing for an internship or other types of applied learning. And the biggest thing about this is this money has not only gone to what we at SUNY Oswego call interns. I know that was a lot of info, but this is important. I want you all to know how transparent we are in how this started, what we went through, and where we're at.
And the too long didn't read end of this is we had to put in a very detailed proposal based on their criteria, how this money can be used. We often get questions like, well, why aren't XYZ positions funded? Why isn't this position funded? And it's because we have very specific guidelines we have to meet through SUNY in the proposal that was submitted. We get to re-review those consistently, but we do have to meet what was asked for in that proposal and what was set forth by SUNY. So that's the short answer to that question. But Tina and I are always looking at other ways that we can support students who aren't getting that support they need to complete internships or other experiential learning. What majors aren't at the table, which sites aren't at the table, how can we get more people involved and reach more students through this fund? So I just want you all to keep that in mind. Another thing to mention here is that last academic year was not a normal year for this fund. This was supposed to be for the entire 23-24 academic year. We did not receive the money until February 2024. So we had to spend an entire year's worth of money in less than 3 months. So if it seems like we had a lot more to give out last year, it's because we did. Our spring students, we were helping with a lot of auxiliary things that we got approval for. And I would say this is our first baseline academic year, where we can normalize the number of students who are getting paid wages. Well, kind of.
Next year, this coming year will be our baseline.
Yeah, mostly for the internship wages, we're more at a baseline than we were last year. So we're working through those nuances. We know that there's some red tape working in a system like SUNY, and getting the infrastructure built up. So those are all things to keep in mind as we move forward. But here's the good stuff. Impact Fund is currently supporting students in the following ways. So the top thing that we're really excited about is to subsidize internship wages for students who would have typically been doing unpaid internships with sites. This allowed us to work closely with our local not-for-profit organizations that consistently host interns. And we narrowed it down to Central New York region, Onondaga and Oswego counties, partners in those counties. And again, partners that consistently hosted interns at their site. We allowed them to hire a certain number of paid interns through this fund. And then we were also able to grow our paid on-campus internships, which is really exciting for us because in a time when we're trying to cut a lot of costs on our campus and in a time where we're trying to maximize services, especially for peer-to-peer support on our campus, we were able to support a lot of areas with internships through this fund.
And these are our five main areas. We have a lot more. We do have individual slide areas for each of these.
Whoops.
So just as a general, you're fine, Bar. As a general sense, these are the five main areas. But if you want to head to the next slide, we can talk more about these.
So we did collect, when we first started sending these awards out, we asked students how they would be impacted by this money. So we did include some direct quotes from students. So this student, when they applied for funding, said I will be free to focus more on the internship as well as my classes without feeling the need to work too many jobs, too many hours. And I think that's the case for a lot of students who were doing unpaid experiences before. To go back to the wages, here's the breakdown of who's being supported through the wage part of this fund. Tina, about how many did
It,
we have a
so
call?
it's about 50% and 50% for funding. About 50% on campus and 50% off campus. We did that on purpose. It is a little bit higher on campus only because we do have an allotment to pay for 10 research interns a year. SUNY requested that some of the funding be utilized towards incorporating research internships, which we did do. So a lot of our local partners that were offering previously unpaid roles. Originally, SUNY came with this money and kind of gave the initiative standpoint that they wanted paid internships created. What we did was we talked with SUNY at great length about this because for us, we were not going to be in a situation where we were going to go out and create brand new internship programs. Dan, I'll use you as an example, right? We're not going to go out and create a brand new internship program with a site that we've never used before when we could give money to Oswego Music Hall, Ontario Center for Performing Arts, where our students go every fall and every spring, right? Same thing with like a lot of our human services sites, a lot of our um, sites for both Oswego and a county for zoology students, for our psychology students, if they're at not-for-profits. We have a lot of students that are not in the traditional technical sciences that were not getting paid for internships. And we tried to turn as many previously unpaid internship programs that were hosted for years. We're talking about Oswego YMCA. We're talking about the Children's Museum of Oswego. We're talking about where some of your own children might go on the physical location of our campus at the Children's Center. We have sites that one of our partners that I met with this week, like Red House in Syracuse, trying to make sure that our local organizations are historical organizations in Oswego that have always offered internships for years and years, trying to really, again, spread out the industries using a lot of our past and current internship data to see where our students are going regularly every fall and every spring to use internship towards degree progression is how we were able to decide what sites receive this. And honestly, it was more difficult to decide on-campus internships than it was off-campus because of how many on-campus internship programs we have. It wasn't a situation where we could just put everything on campus. For on campus, we did previously have about two-thirds of our internships on campus unpaid. Now, about two-thirds of them are paid. So we actually flopped that number. Our on-campus opportunities really focus around student success and peer programs. We had students earning internship credit in partnerships across our campus and peer programs for, again, years, and those departments didn't have budgets to be able to pay their interns. So again, we weren't out here creating new internship programs. We're still working with the same sites that we've been working with for years, and they're endlessly thankful that they're able to support the students because some sites were even seeing lower numbers of students coming to them as they were having these opportunities open because students just couldn't do it. They couldn't, if anything, shout out to Steve McAfee and Auxiliary Services because honestly, they work really hard to recruit student workers in our ID and dining areas. And, a lot of students it's a shift. A lot of students are able to get that wage that they need to support themselves throughout college by going to some of these internships. But I got to give them another shout out because Auxiliary started their own paid internship program. So they're getting plenty of students back into their student employment ranks because of their internship program and showing students what it's really like to work there. But restructuring, we do have a surplus of certain uh, wages right now for spring. I'm going to use an example because Dave Runkey's in here. Dave received an increase in the number of students that he's able to host for spring. Kyle Zintar is one of those people. Lisa Vaneski is one of those people. Um, Kathleen Lee over in Children's Center because anytime we had that surplus for this coming spring with the one-time money that we do have, we're trying to just increase the number of spots because what I can't do is we can't go out and create an unpaid internship, paid internship program, knowing that that money isn't going to be available in the future and turn it to an unpaid internship. That's not good for a lot of reasons. So just a little bit about internship wages. If you've got questions about how students find impact funded, that's a common question I get is how students find the ones that are impact funded. You don't really have to worry about them being marked as impact funded so much because they're just marked as paid now when students are finding them. The sites are posting them in Handshake and recruiting them as paid interns because they know that they're going to be paid versus not necessarily needing to know that certain ones will receive money later. That's not how it works. The sites are recruiting students knowing that and telling the students, hey, you're going to be paid. It doesn't follow the student, it follows the site.
Yeah, there was a misconception for a little bit that students had to apply for impact fund wages for unpaid internships, but like Tina said, all they have to do is search for paid internships and those impact funded ones are included.
Yes.
Um, the other really exciting thing about impact fund, this was really important to Tina and me to include this in our proposal. Students who decide to do internships over the summer or the winter, they have to eat that cost for tuition. It's not included in their regular academic year tuition. So that is a hardship for students, especially if it's an unpaid internship over the summer. So what we were able to do is cover 3 credits of summer and winter unpaid internships, or students who are a part of our impact funded opportunities locally or on campus. That has really helped move the needle for students who need if they're going home for the summer and want to intern closer to home, at least they don't have to worry about that tuition cost. So that is something that's really exciting for us, to just open up extra time for students to have to complete those experiences and not have to worry about that.
I was
Um,
adamant about this part too. Mallory knows I was adamant about this part for School of Communication Media and the Arts. There is a huge population of students in communication that are that companies, broadcasting companies, a lot of times are only offering summer internship programs in the summer. And they require students to earn credit because of New York State's requirements of for-profit organizations to be able to prove proof of educational benefit. So a student earning credit through their institution, which is the worst time a lot of times for a student financially because it's not a part of their full-time student tuition. So a lot of times I'm working with local partners that again are requiring students to earn credit because they are unpaid internships and they have to be receiving credit per New York State labor standards, and they were having to pay for an unpaid internship. So trying to mitigate that if at all possible, when at all possible. Um,
We notify students about this, so students are registering for internships and other experiences through our office. So we're constantly monitoring the students who are registered and letting them know what they're eligible for, what they can apply for, what funding is available to them. Because we do have, in addition to Impact Fund, we have some other sources of funding, like our Feenberg Fund, which we can talk about more later, and some scholarships that they might be eligible for. So we always point them towards the things that might benefit them the most.
and just to kind of reiterate the one point, I want to definitely hit home, especially for advisors, is students that wages we can't give to for-profits, but we absolutely still offer these scholarships. When students are in unpaid internships with the for-profits, they absolutely can still get these tuition scholarships because it's going to the student, not the site on behalf of wages.
The other really exciting piece of this is the living stipends when we created this piece. And this is something that students have to apply for, because they have to give us a little more information about what they need. Nothing personal details involved in that, but they do have to tell us what they're going to spend the funds on. But the living stipends, we wanted to include these hidden costs of internships. So if students need fingerprinting, they need certain supplies to be ready for their internship. There's a certain dress code that they need to meet. They have a young child and they need to subsidize some childcare. These are things that we don't often offer support for on our campus. So we wanted to leave this as open as we possibly could for students. And we wanted to get it to students before their internship starts or as close to the beginning of their internship as possible. Because a reimbursement at the end of your internship isn't going to help you complete the internship. So we have this set up in a way that students can apply for all of these items on the slide. They let us know what their greatest need is and how we can support them. And then we see who has submitted those, and we've been able to honor most requests, to be frank, which is really great. But as this starts to catch on a little bit more, we might have to be choosier, which kind of stinks from our end, but will be good for more students to know about this. Again, we notify students if they're eligible for these funds. Typically, we would be offering this to students who are registered for internships, for some of our service learning courses. This year, we saw a huge gap. We were originally told by SUNY that student teaching and clinical experiences were not to be included in our requests. And then we found out that Cortland was doing it and they got money for it. So we were like, hey, can we have some money for our student teachers? And they were like, yeah, okay, fine. So this year, we have been able to offer this fund. And while we don't coordinate student teachers through the Office of Experiential Learning, we didn't want a giant population of students to miss out on having funding. So we've been working with Nicole Brown and Laura Spenceley and School of Ed to make sure that student teachers have access to these living stipends as well. And also our school counselors and mental health counselors who are doing clinical experiences. So they all get emails once they're registered for the required courses or practicum. They get an email from us saying, hey, you're eligible for this, apply for the funding that you need. And we have a selection process in place for that.
We just sent out, Mallory just sent out the email to our School of Education students who are completing experiences this spring and upcoming summer, and went out to 480 students. And we were going to help as many of them as possible. So,
And bless Cindy DeWolf for processing all of those requests and making sure these students get their money.
as our office manager, if you haven't met her, she is an angel.
Mhm. All right. Tina, you want to talk programming?
Absolutely. So, our programming, we have a very, very vibrant staff who takes programming very seriously. We have worked with them all closely and be able to plan our spring semester. I'm gonna go actually down to staffing and then go back up to programming because I probably should have put these in opposite order. You may have noticed if you haven't met her yet or familiar face, Morgan Buchanan is on this call. She is our brand new internship coordinator as of May 2024. She is a SUNY Oswego alumni from the School of Business with a marketing major. And she works directly with our students in helping them to find opportunities. Morgan is internship coordinator. I'm the associate director. We are not the same. A lot of times, if you've got any undergraduate students who are seeking experience, please feel free to send them to Morgan. We have, I believe, within the next couple days, we will have our open hours with Morgan, as well as the rest of our experiential learning open hours that are specific staff up for students in all of our email signatures on our webpage if you haven't seen it lately. And the ability to be able to hire Morgan, thank you, SUNY, came from the incremental funding impact fund. That is how we were able to get Morgan Buchanan. I am forever grateful, and it's the reason that I probably haven't quit yet. I'm gonna be honest, guys, because I
Fine,
needed
Tina,
her.
whatever.
I needed her. If you've worked with me for as long as I've been here for the past 7.5 years, I needed Morgan. Um, and very excited all she's learned and brought to our students so far. It's been incredible. We have a graduate assistant that was also able to be hired and planned for in the proposal for this, with really great wages for our graduate assistant, who is a GA 20 and so deserving. She is in the counseling master's program here at SUNY Oswego, and she is a saint. KT, Katora is her full name, and she is our main internship programming graduate assistant. And again, without those two folks, I cannot, the amount of work that they accomplish in a week is incredible. Programming, they are leading a lot of our programming for this coming month, for this coming semester. I say month because my eyes went to internship month, which Morgan has taken on as her baby for this semester. Which TBD on all of what is to come out of internship month. She's been working very hard on planning it for the past 6 weeks, and even honestly a little bit before that. We have our experiential learning. Previously, we called it the open house, but we're going to be having experiential learning night for 3 hours down in the Laker Lounge, and I can get you dates for any of these things that you're interested in. You will be receiving information through Oswego Today, through your email, through honestly me shouting off of the rooftop of Murano Campus Center, not sure. Our experiential learning recognition dinner, we're actually previously we had a recognition dinner for Focus Forward program specifically. We are doing a dinner in the spring for all of our programs. So keep an eye out for registration for that if you'd like to attend. We always partner on the career and internship fair with career services every semester. One of the things that has been new in our ability with this funding has been able to offer a student lounge. If any of you have been to a career fair, for the history of when I was even an undergrad, there weren't refreshments or any spaces really for students to kind of have their own space during a career fair. For a number of reasons, we wanted to create a student lounge. So now we have full funding for essentially a full meal for our students that are attending the career fair. We take it very seriously. We have a space for them to come and eat. We have a space for them that is a quiet space that we utilize the materials from student engagement and leadership that they have for kind of like a Zen space, a Zen room with beanbag chairs and mood lighting and sensory um, pieces to that. So there are a lot of things in the student lounge available that never used to be around. This will be our third semester doing the student lounge. Campus Opportunities Expo, where we have all of our on-campus opportunities, whether that be internships or jobs or service learning or volunteering or peer mentoring, all of those opportunities. And we're supporting a lot of events that we weren't previously able to support. One of the program, alongside what you see us doing with Empire State Service Corps, I do want to be clear that Empire State Service Corps is completely separate funding wise from what we're doing with incremental money for applied learning experiences. So we've got a lot going on.
Yeah, and I'll say on the staffing end of this, we're very grateful that this proposal came through SUNY when it did. I don't know if you all have had a chance to comb our strategic plan in depth, which is still in draft form, I believe. But in that strategic plan for our campus, there is a goal to increase internships and service learning by 20% apiece. So having the extra funding for staffing in our department, but also for programming to help get students excited for those experiences and prepare them for those experiences is going to be very crucial. So we're very excited to have, I'm saying excited like a million times because I am. But we have Morgan, we have KT, and it's just been incredible to watch our programs grow through this fund.
We really needed the extra hands.
Tina.
Joke. I did. I made the joke.
Here's another quote from a student. By receiving this funding, it will allow me to cut back on hours at my other job, allowing me to focus more on my schoolwork, therefore helping me get the best grades possible. So again, like attributing to academic success, students aren't working all of these jobs to subsidize required internships, and taking them away from their academic work. Oh, this
Oh,
is
so real quick.
the grand reveal. Okay, so an incredible thing about this semester is that we had our own impact funded intern, Melinda Brancato, and she was charged with making an impact fund video for our office. And this is the first time we're sharing it with anyone external. So you all get to see it first. And she did a wonderful job at capturing student voices and students who were able to benefit from this fund. So I hope you feel all the feels we did after we watched this video. It's
I
only
would
about,
encourage you all to turn your volume up just because
yeah,
it's a Zoom, it's a video through a Zoom. So we also is closed captioning on, Mallory?
I believe so, but I will make sure.
If I could describe the impact fund in one word, I would say relief. I don't have to struggle to find money for groceries or gas, and I'm spending my time getting good experience, good field work. It's stuff I can put on my resume, and I'm getting paid to do it. The Internship Impact Fund is a SUNY initiative that provides access to experiential learning for all students. On our campus specifically, we decided to use this funding to convert experiences that were typically unpaid into paid experiences.
I work at SHOP as one of the interns. SHOP stands for Students Helping Oz Peers. I would say the Impact Fund, much like SHOP, gives to students who don't know they may need it, but it's a blessing in disguise, to say the least.
In the first year alone, in being able to offer the Impact Fund to students, we were able to grow our internship program from being only about a third paid internships to now being over 2/3 of our internships on campus are paid for students. Going into college, you don't really expect to get paid for stuff, and the Impact Fund allows students to do that and dedicate time and get something in return. The Impact Fund has allowed me to really enjoy the experience I've had so far and really get into politics, which I never thought would be possible. So it was a very cool and unexpected thing for me.
I believe the Impact Fund will facilitate a lot of different pathways for the students around campus, especially when it breaks down to different demographics.
The work that we do in experiential learning is directly tied to our institution's Vision 4040 plan. It's very important to us that our students are able to graduate from SUNY Oswego and create a life that they're proud of. So the Internship Impact Fund really makes it possible for our students to participate at a 100% level. Along with some of our other campus partners, we do this by creating mutually beneficial experiences for both the organizations, our students, and faculty on.
We want our students to be the best versions of themselves. It has been incredible to watch and listen to the students who have already benefited from this, and we're very excited to continue offering funding to our students.
You're getting paid for it, and you're getting the experience too. So it's like a double benefit. It really is.
Okay. So again, thank you to Melinda, our intern, who put that together for us. We're really eager to share it widely. I don't even think Scott has seen it yet, so I'm excited for him to see it. But leaving it at that, does anyone have any questions about Impact, some of our other funding sources, internships in general? Tina, Morgan, and I are all here at your disposal. Allison, do you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you. So I have a student that we just finished a proposal for them to present at a professional conference for sorry, I'm just getting the proposal, the New York College Learning Skills Association. And it was suggested to me that Excel might have funding that would support the students' either registration or travel to the conference.
Yep. So that's our Feenberg Fund.
So I just
and-
dropped the link
Perfect.
in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can apply. That's a really quick approval process too, Allison, for that to get approved.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I alluded to the Feenberg Fund before, so it's separate from the Impact Fund. It's for any student who wants to go to a conference, participate in professional development. They need to, they have a research opportunity that's not covered by funds through Orca. Feenberg is a great way to get some of that covered through our office.
Thank you so much.
The primary use of Feenberg, especially in the past year, has been absolutely professional events and conferences for students.
Okay. Thank you.
Some students also use it for certifications. If they have to take certain exams for their career path or their major, they can use it to subsidize some of those costs too. Other questions?
I have one.
Sure.
The tuition scholarships that are for summer, and you said winter as well, right? But most of my audio production interns do their internships during the summer, and those have always been, I'm not going to lie, the typical audio production internship is absolutely never going to be paid ever by the employer. So yeah, one of the things that I do have to, talk to them about is, yeah, it would be great to do an internship, but if you're going to do it while you're home in New York City, which a lot of them do, you're going to have to come up with tuition money, right? Which a lot of times is kind of a deal breaker for them. So how do they, I guess, how are we going to handle the summer interns that are going to be looking for tuition scholarships? What's the what's the process and who is given the ups and downs? Because I imagine it is limited the amount of money you have, right?
So we account for our summer internships. So because of the data that we have, Dan, on how many students are doing unpaid internships, it hasn't varied that much. So we do have the money that we need for our students to get that tuition. Yeah. Your students
Okay.
are absolutely not at a current juncture. I can definitely speak for this summer that I do not foresee us having any issue paying tuition
Wow.
for those students. Your students in sound engineering with that 2 credit, that anybody that's
Yeah.
it's a 3 credit scholarship or under. So your students being at, like, even if they were at, I use Subcat as an example that I see come across every summer, right? Of course, that's not back home in the city, but I can think of at least a few of your students that got scholarships, I think, this past summer. Um,
Oh, I see. I didn't even know that.
yeah,
They didn't even say anything to me. I know
anything,
about Oswego
okay.
Music Hall,
Yeah,
but
so
so
anything that's unpaid, yeah.
do they apply for it, or is it just automatically kind of
We
approved that?
we reach out to all of the students who are unpaid to say, hey, you've got this money available to you for tuition. We're really, for winter, we had such a small number of students that I'm pretty sure we just reached out to the students that were all unpaid and had them confirm it, right? Right, Mallory? For winter. And then for summer, same thing. Every student, for summer, we'll probably also have the application though, because last year we did an application and we also notified the students that were registered, because what we want to make sure doesn't happen is that students don't know about it and only get the money if they weren't if they like didn't even know about it and they ended up in an unpaid internship and we're going to figure it out anyway. We want students to know that they can do something, that the money is available to them for tuition if they think that they might want to do an internship and plan knowing the money's available. So we should have the application out around the same time as when site forms would start being accepted for summer, which would be March 1st.
Excellent. I'll I'll start informing them.
Yeah, March 1st is a great time for just a date for everyone's minds. That's when we start accepting site forms from supervisors for summer and fall. That's when the learning agreements and handshake, all of the surveys get like updated and are ready to go so that we can start accepting site forms and have students get issued those and do their learning agreements. And having everything ready March 1st so that, again, just those timelines. We work on a March 1st timeline for summer fall, and then we work on a October 1st timeline for winter spring.
Sounds good.
And if we end up having extra living funds that we haven't expended, we'll have extra in the summer to dwindle down before the end of the fiscal. So we always make sure that students going through our process know what's available to them. We want to spend every single penny of this money that we have and make sure it gets into students' pockets directly.
Scholarships are huge for schema students in summer. It's the one area, like, again, I was chemistry and all my internships were paid. And that's not most students, especially in communication, media, and arts.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things that over the years, I felt that people really didn't understand that like they were used to interns getting paid, but in production areas, they're absolutely never going to be paid by the person who's providing they don't have to. There's so many people, wanting to do internships. So yeah, this is great. And I have not been saying this to anyone, so I will get the news out there. I imagine I see the programming and everything that you have, and I will obviously push our students that way. But even something, possibly I get all the audio majors together, and maybe like somebody from Excel might
Yeah.
want to come and chat quick. We could do something like that. I know it's
Morgan and I could come and Morgan could talk to them about searching strategies and how to make appointments with her, and I could just come and do a brief part that's funding opportunities.
Yeah, that's the thing too. The whole, you know, getting signed up.
Yes.
getting registered, and it is a lot. It is a
Yeah.
lot for I don't for my students at least. So but yeah, any help that we could get in streamlining that will
Wait till you
definitely
see the
help
new
them.
timesheet.
It'll definitely help me because it takes an absolute ton of my time as a faculty sponsor to get them through
Working on the faculty
process.
sponsor experience.
Yeah.
I'm working on the faculty sponsor experience because I don't be surprised if you see a new type of survey for you as a faculty sponsor, Dan, for starting for like
Instead of skill survey.
oh, we're not using skill survey anymore.
Okay.
Skill survey is being and I'm sending out a mass faculty sponsor email about that too. So you're gonna receive, so faculty sponsors are receiving weekly emails from me this semester.
Oh, okay.
In with my promotion in the fall to associate director, faculty sponsor liaisoning is now part of my job. And it wasn't previously. So we're gonna be doing some don't be surprised when I reach out and I'm asking for a select group of like 5 or 6 faculty sponsors to sign on and work with me because I am noticing the areas that students, for example, students not knowing where to look for their assignments, students not know, it's just common and it keeps going every single semester that we see it happening. So if it's got to get fixed. Like
There's a lot of moving parts and we want to make it easier for you and more streamlined for you and students as they complete the work involved in this.
Yeah.
So
the timesheet system, Morgan completely redid the timesheet system for students. There is a brand new timesheet that we're implementing on the 31st of this month that is completely new, automatically sends to the supervisor. There's no waiting for a supervisor to approve, because back in the day when we had paper timesheets, supervisors were physically signing them and bringing them to the office. So we purchased actually very low cost way a technology. So Morgan ran with it and created a brand new workflow for students to fill out a timesheet. It goes to their supervisor, they approve it or decline it with a comment, and it comes back. And she's even working with our team to integrate it into that big spreadsheet you're used to seeing as a faculty sponsor so that it just dumps right in as approved hours. No R
R.
dash what is, we're not doing that anymore.
Excellent.
it's like a DocuSign situation and we're pretty pumped for it.
It's pretty good. So
Yes, any feedback, or we're happy to have conversations about how to streamline this. We know the process can be a bear. It involves students planning ahead and being communicative and following through a process. We know it has a few different steps along the way, but any way that we can make life easier for you all, please come meet with us. We're happy to talk through it. We just want to make it better for students and for you.
the checklist, I think, for students has helped a lot. So if you're not familiar with the website that we completely ripped apart and built back up in February, and created that checklist for students, it's much more straightforward. It's before the internship, get registered, do it. And it's checklist for them. They can make their own copy and edit it however they want.
Any other questions? We've got like 30 seconds to a minute.
Right on time.
All right, well, I dropped the link to our PowerPoint slides. If you feel like any of your colleagues would benefit from this information, please share it or just refer them to us. We're happy to come to staff meetings. We're happy to get in front of your students to talk about process and planning. But thank you for your partnership and for coming to this session to learn more. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Allison, it's weird to see you in that living room.
I'm sure it is.
You know,